Hello YouTube, it's Atticus. How's everybody doing? I'm back with you with a Skaven vs Dwarf game. So yeah, this is a really fun matchup, and this game was a really good opportunity to show you guys some of the new units and how I went about fighting the new Dolly, or fighting the Dolly with the new units. So yeah, this is a really cool one, guys. I'm really enjoying the Skaven. I thought the Lizardmen had the more stronger units from the DLC, but more I'm playing Skaven, more I'm realizing like, yeah, they really do have some strong units as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the matchup, guys, and I'll show you what I brought, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So for my lord, I brought the Mighty Bonebreaker, and I wanted to put him next to these Rat Ogres. Look how much bigger he is to these Rat Ogres. It's crazy how big these guys are. But yeah, I brought him. He's cheap. He has really good armor piercing, and yeah, I think that he's really good for the matchup versus Dwarfs. He has some pretty good abilities. That lower armor, or melee attack, excuse me. He has Frenzy, and yeah, he can raise up his own armor, and also has a explosion if he gets surrounded. So, you know, have him run with a pack of Rat Ogres, and yeah, this guy is a beast. He'll be do really good dealing with any Dwarven warriors, Longbeards, and things like that. For my front line, guys, I just have some Clan Rat with shields. So I have 4 of them in total, but I have a secondary line of Storm Vermin with sword and shield. So yeah, these guys are going to be the real muscle of my army, supported, of course, by the Rat Ogres, and yeah, they'll be able to hold a really long time. They'll be able to take any range, you know, firepower the Dolly have. Yeah, they have bronze shields. Also, guys, you can see here we do have the 2 units of Rat Ogre, so we have, or excuse me, the 3. We have 1 on each flank and then 1 in the middle running with the Bonebreaker. Also, guys, one of the new, or not, this one isn't the new one, but I do have the Warp Thrower weapons team, and I think these guys are really great in the Dwarf matchup. You know, you don't really see them a lot, but yeah, they lower leadership when they hit you. Yeah, so it can really help when you're trying to fight Dwarves, since they have already really high leadership. Having these can really, you know, get a route going for you. As for some of the new units, guys, we do have some Warlock Giselles. So yeah, these guys have the Shield Breaker trait, which is going to come in so much handy when dealing with the Dwarves. Because what do the Dwarves normally do? They sit there with 100 different archers, you know, with their shields and stuff, and they just out missile play you. But these guys can actually outrange any of the Dwarven, you know, archers, and they can also shoot right through their shields. So for example, look at these guys right here. Well, not those guys. Let's see if he has a unit of archers anywhere on the map here. Well, okay, he doesn't. He just has the normal Corolars. These are the only ones that don't have shields, but even Thunderers have them and things like that. So also over on this side, guys, we have the Regent of Renown, Natty Booball Sharpshooters, and yeah, I just wanted to have 2 units of these. These guys are to counter artillery because they're really good at sniping cannons and dealing with Thunderers and Corolars and things like that, Bugsman Rangers and things like that. Also, guys, last but not least, we do have a unit of, it's not last, we actually have something else, the Dwarf Thing Menace, and these are the perfect unit you want to bring for dealing with the Dwarves because they have that armor sundering ability. So yeah, these guys are such a good, you know, tool for dealing with Dwarfs, and I strongly recommend it. So yeah, that's my build. You can see in Deep Vanguard we also have a unit of Death Runners, and they also have I think it's minus 50 armor that they, or minus, yeah, they can actually sunder armor by like 50. It's really powerful. So I always put one of those in the back, and then, you know, obviously use the concealment bomb, and I'll try to get into the artillery piece. So really powerful army. We have a lot of range tools. These guys right here are going to be really supporting the Storm Vermin, and the Rat Ogres hopefully will be able to pound my opponent into oblivion. As for the Dolly right here, for his lord, guys, he does have, where is his lord at? Right there. We do have a lord, so yeah, so he's going really cheap on his lord. He just wants a much bigger army, and yeah, I can see that working with this Skaven matchup. For his front line, he just has a whole bunch of Dwarf warriors, so yeah, something that will just hold the line. These guys will do really good against Clan Rats, even, you know, against Storm Vermin, they'll be able to hold for a little bit. But then he has a second line of Thunderers, and yeah, this is what I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, see, even these guys have bronze shields, so having those Warlock Giselles will just shoot right through them as if they don't have a missile chance. So yeah, we got the second line of Thunderers, and then we have a third line of just Longbeards, which will do really good against Storm Vermin. Yeah, so 4 Longbeards. So this is a perfect army for dealing with Skaven. You have everything that has a lot of shields. You have things that can, you know, fight against Storm Vermin, and yeah, pretty powerful, especially with all the range units he has. He also has 2 units of Corolars, are great weapons. I do like these guys. I think they do really good against what are these things called? Doom flares and things like that, since they do have armor piercing. But then he has a huge artillery contingent. So you can see that he has a couple grudge throwers here, guys, and he also has a cannon. So yeah, he's going straight, just numbers, no regiment renown, just going really powerful, sturdy dwarven front line. So all right, let's go ahead and start the match, guys, and we'll talk about how this goes. So right off the bat, as the pickle said to the jar, you can see that the artillery is going to start just pounding me. Obviously, there's nothing I can really do about that, but I am going to see that he has some of these corridors exposed. So yeah, my Warplock Giselles are going to be able to start just shooting into these guys. And just watch this damage, guys. I mean, just boom, 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 just shredding them. Yeah, Warplock Giselles are just so powerful. You can see the Natty Boo Balls are doing the same thing, and we're forcing him to have to pull back his range unit. So that's really cool, because usually these guys will shoot at you on the approach. Now they're having to back up, and it's allowing my troops to advance. And you can see that the Clan Rats are taking the initial artillery damage, which is what this is what they're made for. So as long as it's not hitting my Storm Vermin or my Rat Ogres, I'm okay with it. You can see the Natty Boo Balls are going to start coming around to this right side. I am going to see that he has this cannon. So yeah, I'm going to start trying to shoot it. And remember, these guys are cloaked, or they're hidden. So my opponent can't really see it. And now you see we're going to start opening up on the cannon. And yeah, guys, it's such a good counter to artillery pieces. And you'll see I'll just start breaking units as the match progresses. So yeah, we got this long distance. You can see that my opponent was not paying attention, and I do get my Death Runners with the concealment bombs right into those grudge throwers. You always have to look for Vanguard, guys, and you always expect that there might be concealment bombs. I mean, it never ceases to or never stops working. You can see we're going to get our first cannon destroyed, and just going to instantly move on to the second one. So yeah, these Natty Boo Balls, these Warplock Giselles are just so powerful. Such a great new unit. You can see here comes another volley shooting into this cannon right here. Oh, I forgot he had 4 cannons, so he really did go really heavy on the artillery. So yeah, our front lines are getting ready to collide. He doesn't have any miners or things like that, so we're not going to take any damage on the initial approach. But here comes the the Dwarf Menace, and yeah, these guys are going to be really good since he does not have any Slayers. He's really trying to win through numbers and things like that. So yeah, these guys aren't going to really have a counter. He doesn't have any helicopters or things that would could be a threat to those guys. You can see the front lines are going to collide. I'm going to have one of my Clan Rat units that gets around the back, and yeah, we'll be able to start pressuring these corridors. And yeah, the Rat Ogres are going to get into the fold. You can see we are going to collapse onto this cannon. So we have a couple artillery pieces shut down. You can see that the Death Runners were able to shut down the grudge throwers. Our Warplock Giselles are shutting down the cannons, and things are just looking really good for us. The Rat Ogres now are mixed in amongst the Storm Vermin and Clan Rats, and yeah, we just have a really long battle going on. But Dwarfs are, they will win that one-on-one without the support of all my other units, just because they're, they have so much durability. You can see that my Warplock throwers are going to get caught by these Longbeards, so that was a huge mistake on my end. These guys are not meant for single combat, so yeah, I'm going to end up, taking a lot of damage on those guys. You can see that the Dwarf Thing Menace is coming in here, guys, and it is sundering the armor. And you can see that these guys only have 55 armor right now, instead of like the normal 90. So this is making it a lot easier for my Clan Rats and things like that to do the damage. You can see the Lord is fighting amongst the Death Runners. We've getting a little bit of damage to him. He's also sundering the armor, and yeah, the Warplock Giselles are just still shooting into this cannon, but he's using this hill as a little bit of cover, so I probably would have been better sending those guys to shoot maybe these Thunderers, which I will eventually start to do. You can see the cannon has just been pounding my my Warlord. He's just taking so much damage, and I'm getting ready to lose him. So I do use the World's Edge armor and my leadership. I'm just trying to keep these guys alive, and I was trying to pull back my Warpfire throwers. You can see that, yeah, we all crossed the line here on the right flank. My opponent has broken through all my army, and you can see he's trying to chase off my Natty Boo Balls. But instead of sending these guys to die, I'm just going to pull them back, guys. I mean, we do have the speed advantage over my opponent. So yeah, I don't want to lose those guys because I'm really going to need them. You can see that the Doomflayers now are into these Thunderers. They're absolutely just shredding through these guys, and it's such a fun unit to watch. And you can see now we've gotten also into his last cannon. So that's going to take a lot of pressure off my Lord. Here in the back, guys, you can see these Clan Rats are screening out these corridors. So yeah, that's really good value for me. 300, 400 something value chasing away almost 1,000 points worth of things. But yeah, he has broken my Lord, guys, so that's really unfortunate. The Warlord is going to come back though, and I'm going to need him to try to screen out these Longbeards so my Warplock Giselles keeps firing. The Dwarfs are holding really good. You can see these Longbeards are fighting amongst the Rat Ogre, but yeah, I mean, this is what they excel at. You can see that the Giselles have broken through the Thunderers, and yeah, so we just have little individual battles going on everywhere, guys. You can see that he is trying so hard to get into my Natty Boo Balls. I'm going to use a unit of Clan Rats to keep those guys busy, and we're going to start shooting into these Longbeards. So these are such a, a powerful unit. I figured I might as well start killing them while I can. And yeah, we're just sniping them, and it's going to keep those guys from, routing and coming back into the main engagement. Over here, you can see that my Warlord is just trying to juke and jive, trying to get these Longbeards. He's really trying to shut down those Giselles, and we're doing everything we can to, keep him from getting that. And you can see that the Lord has taken a little bit of damage, guys. I mean, the Death Runner is keeping him pretty much wiped down. As soon as I get my Warlock Giselles open, I'm going to start focusing him. And you can see that we got these Thunderers also locked down. But unfortunately, my opponent does have a unit of Coilers and Thunderers, actually 3 of them, who came back from routing. So I have to invest some troops into shutting those guys, because if not, they're just going to, shoot into the back of my troops. Over here, these Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors have just been such a nuisance. They're keeping me from being able to use my Natty Boo Balls, but I'm not going to let him get these guys. I'm just going to keep running. I'm going to play, for the end game, because if I could get these guys, protected, I could start shooting it amongst his Lord. And you can see that he's using these Longbeards right here who are getting shot point blank into the face. But yeah, I just instantly pull back, taking advantage of how slow the Dwarfs are. So, they're so slow that a weapons team can even outrun them. Over here, you can see these Clan Rats are still just chasing away these Coilers, and yeah, we've kind of screened out his range units. Balance of Power is pretty, has a, strongly in my favor, guys, but it's a little bit deceptive, because all it's going to take is one massive leadership, break for it to come back into his favor. And you can see we are going to break the Dwarf Warriors right here, but he just has all these Dwarf Warriors who just refuse to die, and I don't have a lot of armor piercing, guys, so the real, way that I was feeling to get through those guys was through the Dwarf Thing Menace. Like, I really need them with their armor sundering, and you see they're in here, guys. They're doing their trick with their little lawnmower front ends. Over here, Clan Rats and these Rat Ogres are fighting these Longbeards, and Longbeards are just a really powerful unit, so it's always good to get them, destroyed. And then, yeah, you can see that my Warlord is going to be fighting these Longbeards with the support of the Warlock Giselles. We're going to be able to break those guys, and I'll be able to get them back into the main engagement. Over here, you can see that my Flamethrower units are going to start shooting into the face of these Dwarf Warriors, and yeah, they're going to take some point-blank damage. I'm instantly going to pull them back, guys. I mean, that's kind of the theme of this game. Be really patient and careful, conservative with your, weapons teams. Don't just throw them away, because you're really going to need them. Now that we've broken these unit of Longbeards, I'm going to be able to get my Rat Ogres into the center pocket right here, because yeah, these guys are not really wanting to die. And you can see the Lord is mixed in. I still got some Storm Vermins who are at pretty good health, but yeah, especially now with the Rat Ogres, we're going to be able to do a little bit of damage. And you can see that I'm using the Dwarf Thing Menace right here to keep these units from returning into the battle. I'm using the unit of Clan Rats here, and I'm just trying to invest in the screening and keeping these archers from returning, because if these archers are able to get back into the battle, it's going to be really hard for me. Over here, guys, you can see that these Warlock Giselles are in the combat, but it's because I used all their ammunition, so I figured, alright, at this point, there's no reason not to commit them to the engagement. And you can see that I got these Warp Fire Throwers getting ready to get into combat, and this is going to be such a good benefit for me. We're going to shoot right into the back of these Dwarf Warriors. It's instantly going to start to shatter their leadership, and that's going to be such a good, such a good turn of the tide for me. You can see that we're breaking these guys. We got the Doomflayers in here shredding through the remains of his Dwarf Warriors, and things are looking really good. And don't keep in mind, guys, we have these Death Runners too with their armor sundering ability, which is also keeping these guys, really low. Over here, the Rat Ogres are just cleaning up any Dwarfs that are trying to come back from combat, and you can see that I do have these Natty Boo Balls. These guys are still alive. I'm trying to take, quick pop shots, and then I'm running away. Try to take a quick shot, then running away. And you can see he's invested a lot of troops into trying to chase those guys down. Over here, though, all the Clan Rats that I use to try to shut these guys down, he is going to be able to break, so he should be able to get those guys back into combat here pretty shortly. But yeah, now it's just coming down to my one unit of Storm Vermin right here, and my Warlock Fire Throwers, who are going to break. So yeah, now the Lord is fighting amongst these Storm Vermin, who don't have any armor sundering units that can, could really assist with them. You can see that I am going to use the Doomflayers here to try to cut these guys off, so that way I can start using my Natty Boo Balls. If I could get those guys to stop chasing me, I can start focusing his Lord, and that will, actually really turn the tide. And you can see over here, guys, he is going to break through this weapons team, and yeah, Balance of Power is just pretty much staying, dead a little bit more in my favor. It hasn't really moved up or down. You can see I am obstructed in that shot, so I'm going to switch to these Dwarf Warriors right here. It's better just to kill those guys than, stand there not doing anything. And you can see we're just going to absolutely just start shredding these guys like the Normandy beach landing. Warlock Giselles are just so cool. You can see that my opponent is force pathing his way through the Longbeards, even though my Doomflayers Doomflayers are in there trying to keep those guys busy. But yeah, this is when it starts getting scary. You can see he is going to break my 2 units of Storm Vermin, and I don't have any Rat Ogres. I'm really hurting on weapons team, so I'm starting to think like, okay, he has a chance he can make a comeback, especially with all these range units who are returning from combat. Now, the one advantage I do have, guys, is these Warplock Giselles, and you can see we're going to start just shooting into his Lord. So yeah, my opponent wasn't paying attention, and look how quickly we're just melting the Lord, guys. So this was the really big turn of the tide. You can see Balance of Power goes right back into the middle, though, so it's dead even. But yeah, the Warplock Giselles are destroying this, guys. He's going to use Stand Your Ground and Foe Seeker, but it's a little bit too late. And about time he realizes it and tries to get some Dwarf Warriors into the battle right here, guys, he's going to have his Lord pretty much sniped. You can see he's trying to run away. He's trying to get these Thunderers, but yeah, we're going to finally kill the Dwarven Lord, and that's going to bump the Balance of Power right back into my favor. So I'm really using these Giselles. This is a real hero of the game, guys. I'm doing everything I can to keep these guys from dying. I need to get every one of their ammunition spent, and you can see we're just absolutely just shredding through these Thunderers. Over here, the Doomflayers are doing really good, keeping these Dwarf Warriors busy, but yeah, it's really coming to these Giselles, and I used every drop of their ammunition, which means now I could use them in the combat. And now I'm going to use the Dwarf Thing Menace like a chariot. I got to keep cycle charging, and luckily I'm going to have some Storm Vermin who did come back. So, you know, those Warplock Giselles really won me the game, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had any way to really deal with the Lord. You can see that these Storm Vermin are going to instantly shatter these 2 range units, so now it's just coming down to these remaining Dwarf Warriors and Longbeards. You can see my weapons team's in there just, you know, mucking them up, but it's really coming down to the Doomflayers, guys. Over here we have some more Warplock Giselles. These guys are out of ammunition, but I'm just trying to get as many bodies into the fight as I can. And also we have these Warp Fire Throwers, and if I'm able to get those guys into combat, that's going to really help. But yeah, these Doomflayers are just so powerful. You don't really want to leave them in combat if you can avoid it, guys. You just want to, you know, play them like a chariot. You can see we're going to come in there, we're going to get a really good charge, you know, rear charge. It's going to break the unit, and then we pull them back, and we're just, you know, trying to ping pong ourselves back and forth. My opponent does have this last little group of Dwarf Warriors who are getting shot in the back by my Warplock Giselles. And yeah, it's looking really good for us, guys. You can see we are going to get one more good charge in by the Doomflayers. That's going to send these dwarfs to Dawi Heaven. And yeah, guys, especially with the support of my Warp Fire Throwers who are coming in here to get the final goodbye to the dwarves. We're going to be able to shoot them with fire and break the leadership of the Dawi. Here comes the volley. And yeah, that's going to be the winning blow and a win for the Skaven. So really cool game. I think that really showed the power of the new DLC units, especially the Warplock Giselles. So let's go ahead and look at the end screen breakdown and talk about some of the keys for my success. And yeah, I mean, these Doomflayer Dwarf Thing Menace really were amazing. I mean, these guys were just so powerful. That armor sundering ability is just, you know, invaluable. Also, you know, being able to use these Death Runners with their concealment bomb. You know, my opponent wasn't paying attention. I was able to shut down all his artillery pieces, or at least 2 of them, with those bad boys. The Warplock Giselles are an obviously good counter to cannons. You guys saw how quickly he was able to do that. So yeah, I mean, use those guys to shut down our, you know, Empire artillery, Dwarven artillery, and more importantly, guys, like you saw how I was being really patient with them. Don't throw them away. Don't be afraid to run away with them. The fact that I ran these guys away, was getting chased by Jorus the whole game, allowed me to, you know, be able to use them in the end game and snipe his Lord. So, you know, moral of the story is, you know, be careful with your weapons teams. Don't throw them away. My Warlord did okay, but he got sniped by cannon, so I didn't get much value from him. But yeah, I think this build really was cool, and it really worked. And as for Saxton, yeah, this is a really mean, you know, high number build, shielded build. But yeah, I mean, I think the new units that the Skaven got, the new DLC units, kind of just make it a little bit easier for us now. So, all right, guys, it's Atticus. I hope you enjoyed that one. That was a really cool game. I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye-bye.